Children love stories. As a child, I was immediately drawn to the stories that started with the words, "Once upon a time." These stories often ended with, "They lived happily ever after." I have a feeling that children are not the only ones who are intrigued by those phrases. We each long to have the once upon a time of our lives filled with so much happiness that it becomes the happily ever after of our hopes and our dreams. We are living in our once upon a time. We are experiencing a mortal probation now during our turn on earth. In our premortal existence, all the sons of God shouted for joy as we accepted the great plan of happiness. We happily anticipated coming to earth to experience opportunities to grow spiritually. Men are that they might have joy. The opportunity is here and now to obtain happiness that extends beyond our earth life. However, we need to know what it is and where to find it. In the Book of Mormon, Lehi explained to his son Jacob that happiness is a result of obedience. He told Jacob that eternal laws have both punishments and opportunities for happiness attached to them. When we disobey God's laws, we suffer the punishments. But when we obey, we reap the happiness. Part of what creates happiness is the absence of regret, guilt, and sin. The prophet Joseph Smith taught, "Happiness is the object and design of our existence, and will be the end thereof if we pursue the path that leads to it. This path is virtue, uprightness, faithfulness, holiness, and keeping all the commandments of God." A young friend named Emily discovered this for herself. Emily did not yet have a testimony of the gospel and was contemplating whether to remain active in the church or try to find happiness elsewhere. As she searched for answers, she began to notice that the people and families around her who were the happiest were the ones who were active in the church. After that discovery, she determined that even if she didn't yet have a complete testimony of the truthfulness of the gospel, she wanted to be part of something that helped people to be so happy. The word gospel means good news, and as Emily discovered, the good news is that the gospel can make us very happy. But you may be thinking, even within the church, there are people who aren't happy, or people who are usually happy, but who experience intermittent times of stress, worry, challenge, and discouragement. That, too, is part of the great plan of happiness. Mortality is a time of testing and trial, which means that there must be times when we feel pain and emotional discomfort. However, by patiently trusting in the eternal plan, we can experience daily happiness and have hope for ever after happiness. Elder Boyd K. Packer explained, "It was meant to be that life would be a challenge, to suffer some anxiety, some depression, some disappointment, and even some failure is normal. Teach our members if they have a good, miserable day once in a while, or several in a row, to stand steady and face them. Things will straighten out. There is great purpose in our struggle in life." The story of our search for happiness is written in such a way that if we continue to trust in God and follow His commandments through the challenging times, even those times will bring us closer to the happiness we are seeking. The Savior said, "In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." The Savior, Jesus Christ, showed us the way to happiness and told us everything we need to do to be happy. As we study the teachings of the Savior and thereby understand the purpose of our existence, we feel and express our happiness. In the Doctrine and Covenants, the Lord said through Joseph Smith that we should worship him with a glad heart and a cheerful countenance. We can experience a speedier and more sure course to our ever-after happiness by developing certain habits and attitudes that encourage happiness. Our prophet,